Hello, everyone. It's me again. I'm back with Carl,
Hi.
and welcome to the update version of Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Now, I already talked about the problems of Part One. I'm just gonna sum up the movie's biggest problem in one word: lack of a moral message and a nonsensical plot.
Mm-hmm.
However, to fix the whole lack of a moral message, it's faith in leadership. Thank you to Phoenix Studios, by the way.
Yeah.
And the plot here is just not as nonsensical due to the fact that the humans took up most of the screen time.
Right.
As let's just get into everything, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
The movie begins mostly the same, but it's about the more about the backstory of the 13 Primes. It's still almost the same, just focusing a bit more on the backstory of the 13 Primes. That's all. That's all we need to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
This would still be 200 million years ago. It still would.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's one of the best parts of the whole movie, admittedly.
Yeah.
We then cut to present day in Shanghai, where Lennox and his team are with Ironhide. Two new recruits, which are Sideswipe and Sunstreaker, replacing those hate those stupid twins, Skids and Mudflap.
Yeah.
Hate them, hate them, hate them, hate them, hate them.
Me too.
For Sideswipe, he would be played by James Remmer, and Sunstreaker, Corey Feldman.
Mm-hmm.
We also have Jazz would also be a part of this, RC, and two new members, Chromia and Alita 1, played by Natalie Portman and Joel Lane Moore, respectively.
Yeah.
The biggest issue with Chromia and Alita 1 and RC in this movie is the fact that they hardly got any screen time and they were killed off unceremoniously.
Yeah.
To me, they didn't deserve to die like that.
They did it.
But I'm sure most of you watching this will agree with me as well. They didn't deserve to die like that. No way.
Yeah.
And instead of Demolisher, we have Brawl attacking with the Seekers.
Mm-hmm.
Starscream, Thundercracker, played by Joe Manganiello. Skyward, played by Pierre Jacobson. Ramjet, played by Brad Dourif. Thrust,
Yeah.
played by Ray Park.
Mm-hmm.
And Dirge, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
They begin to attack along with some Viacons. One of them begins to attack RC, Chromium, and Jazz. He gets away as their attention is now on Brawl and the Seekers.
Yeah.
Ironhide does a decent job at taking down Brawl. He doesn't kill him, but he does a decent job at doing some damage to him. He does a decent job.
Mm-hmm.
Along with the other Autobots they're doing a better job at taking down the other Decepticons.
Yeah.
Or should I say Viacons.
Yeah.
Optimus then shows up and attacks Thrust, and then the same scene could go down as normal before he kills him for killing innocent people. He warns about the Fallen. Optimus then kills Thrust, and yeah, same scene.
Yeah.
We then have the same scene where Spike packs for college, and before Spike could leave, he begins to think about, who could be at college waiting for him? He begins to think about who could be waiting for him.
Yeah.
This would be a good way to show that Spike is curious,
Uh-huh.
thus adding some new layer to him.
Yeah.
Soon he then find It's the all spark fragment like in the movie, but rather than rather than showing him symbols, instead when he touches it, he gets a vision of the future.
Yeah.
What is this future? Some of you are asking. Simple. The Autobots losing, the Earth being destroyed, and the Decepticons winning in the end.
Yeah.
As a star harvester. As some sort of machine created by the first Decepticon known as the Fallen. Destroys the sun. Spike then lays down and he's like, oh, oh, oh. Sparkplug then comes in and asks Spike if he's okay, and Spike's like, yeah, I'm fine. And then he gets ready, and then he finishes packing up, and soon he gets inside Bumblebee, and then they leave for college.
Yeah.
And then we have a scene where Kicker and Carly get on RC and Ironhide. Well, no. Carly gets on RC after being separated from Alita 1 and Chromia. We can get a scene where she says farewell to them.
Yeah.
However, Kicker is not really on his best luck as he has his old truck. And then he begins to drive it. But however, it doesn't work very well, and so he's like, I'm gonna use my dad's car.
Yeah.
Also, Wheelie's being cut out. I didn't like Wheelie at all in this movie.
Me neither.
So instead, we're going to replace him with Laserbeak.
Yeah.
Laserbeak would also be the one spying on Carly. Like, on the top of her house, like, essentially the roof.
Yeah.
We then get the same scene at Diego Garcia where the Autobots are arriving. And we have this scene with Schism with Sideswipe and Sunstreaker. Yo. Sunstreaker.
What?
You let most of the targets escape!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got distracted.
By what? Ice cream?
Yes.
Sidestreaker, we're robots. We don't eat human food.
Okay, I know.
You know what? Pretend I won't display mine as ice cream.
Okay.
And then Sideswipe smacks Sunstreaker. You
Oh.
don't get ice cream. Because you don't. You're a robot. That's human food.
Oh, okay.
And then the two get into an argument. Lily One tries to break them up, and while she is successful, they end up scanning two new Lamborghini modes.
Yeah.
One red, one yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Blur, Wheeljack, Mirage, and Ratchet are also there. Wheeljack would be played by James Horan. Blur would be played by John Muschietti Jr. as a reference to G1. And Mirage would be played by Danny Quinn. Blur and Mirage are kind of like in their training mode in a way.
Right.
They're kind of like that. Now, for this one version of events, I want this to have the most character development. Focusing on Optimus, Bumblebee, Sideswipe, and Sunstreaker. Optimus and Bumblebee would have the most character development as their characters would start to grow, even Spike's in some way. Sideswipe and Sunstreaker would have more of a flat arc, as well as Jetfire. They have more of a flat arc here.
Yeah.
We then have the same scene where Galloway arrives, but instead of Dick Galloway, because I hated that guy,
Me too.
we're instead going to replace him with Sean Berger, played by Ken Yun, the guy who played Jerry in Dark of the Moon.
Yeah.
And we also get director Marissa Fairborn, who would be played by the same actress who played director Mirren in Dark of the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's still the same actress, just a different character, if you know what I mean.
Right.
It's essentially that.
Right.
Here, Berger is a man who thinks the Autobots are inferior to humans and think we don't need their help, and he arrives to talk about the Transformers and how he thinks the Earth would be safer without them, and the scene is the same from here.
Yeah.
We have the same scene. We then have a new scene where the Constructicons, where the Constructicons, Soundwave, and the rest of the Seekers are in Antarctica.
Yeah.
Now, the scene would take place at night. Because rather than being some sort of stupid movie with a nonsensical and stupid plot, this film would be more like The Empire Strikes Back, in which it's the dark second movie.
Right.
And it would also dive more deeper into the world of and it would also have more world building right here.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of the Transformers and the human worlds.
Yeah.
And of course, Jetfire would coincidentally be in the same location as Megatron, but a few miles away from him.
Mm-hmm.
Now for the Constructicons. Scrapper, played by Dan Aykroyd. Mixmaster, played by Joe Magnata. Lon Hall, played by Mickey Rourke. Hook, played by Johnny Depp. And Scavenger, played by John C. Reilly. We even get a scene where her Bone Crusher and Lon Hall are arguing as to who the strongest one is. Mixmaster is always angry. Hook likes being a pirate. Always pretends he's a pirate and because he's like into pirate movies, some sort that kind of thing. Scrapper's leader. Essentially, Hook and Scavenger are digging into like the ice.
Yeah.
Because they're searching for something.
Mm-hmm.
But as they continue drilling, Starscream tells them to stop. You two, stop!
Why Starscream?
This set in Sabatronian is one I've known since the earlier days of the war.
Jetfire.
Yes, with his help, he will help turn the tide, and we will be victorious!
Yeah.
Let's bring him back to the base.
Okay.
We then cut to a scene with the Fallen and Megatron, explaining the next phase of the plan. Megatron, I have decided to go with Plan B.
And what is Plan B, Master?
Plan B is, since we can't retrieve the Matrix to recreate the Allspark, I think instead we should use the Matrix to activate an old machine I created years back.
The Star Harvester.
Yes. And with the help of the Star Harvester, we will be able to win. And we will have our revenge.
Yes, Master.
But first, we still need Optimus dead.
Yes.
During this scene, sinister music would play, because we need this.
Mm-hmm.
Also, one more thing. Title change. I forgot to mention this, but the title change is this. Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. It's a stupid title because Like, the Fallen isn't even getting his revenge. He doesn't even get his revenge until, like, the last half of the movie. You know what would have made a better title? Transformers Revenge of the Decepticons.
Right.
I know some are going to say, isn't that a reference to Revenge of the Sith? Yes, it is, but it's also like The Empire Strikes Back. The Autobots are the Rebellion, and the Decepticons are like the Empire. It's like that.
Yeah.
I just need to point this out. That's all. We then cut to the scene where Sam parks at college, and he tells Bumblebee to stay at his parking spot. Bumblebee agrees, and he finds a parking spot where RC is coincidentally at. Bumblebee's a little confused, but RC tells him that it's okay. He doesn't need to be confused, too worried. Bumblebee's like, okay, just calm down. Everything's under control. Everything is cool.
Yeah.
Spike meets up with Chip and Carly. Well, Carly's mainly attending college. Chip is unsure because he still has his whole job degree at Ness. He hasn't decided whether he should join college or do his job instead. He hasn't decided yet. This would be a subplot.
Yeah.
Like a small subplot of sorts. When Spike goes into his room, he meets up with Kicker.
Yeah.
Here they have a long time no see moment. And as Kicker sits Spike down, Kicker gives Spike his journal and tells him not to read anything. As Kicker leaves to use the bathroom. However, Spike's dumb and decides to look at the journal and finds out some details about his life, such as the bullying he received in middle school and high school, the many tragedies he faced, such as his family being poor, the death of his uncle when he was like 7 years old.
Yeah.
This is almost similar to Randy's stare, aka Andrew Blaze. If you guys don't know who he is essentially a YouTuber who initially started on the channel called Pioneers Productions in 2008, and then at the age of 16, and then later he created Ember's Ghost Squad, in which was a show that was known for being rather dark, violent, and disturbing. And then in 2017, he committed the White supermarket shootings and by killing 3 people, just so he can be reborn in the afterlife as a ghost named Andrew Blaze to be with Ember.
Yeah.
One that obviously would never happen.
It wouldn't happen.
He just had a sick and twisted plan.
He did.
He was just insane.
Yeah.
When Kicker comes in, Spike closes immediately. Kicker's a little confused, but then Spike's like, oh, I wasn't reading anything. And Kicker's like,
Yeah.
We then cut to a scene where where the Decepticons are reviving Jetfire. And then Jetfire meets Starscream for the first time. As for Jetfire, he would be played by Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Jetfire would then ask Starscream how many years it's been.
It's been about 30 years, Jetfire.
Wait. But I've been on Earth. Wait a second. I left Cybertron during the early days of the war, so
Yes.
I was in the Arctic. I left Cybertron during the early days of the war, so it's been longer than that.
It's been about 50 years, Jetfire.
The math's not making any sense. Soundwave, Soundwave then comes in and tells this to Jetfire. It's been longer. During the early days of the war, you were lost.
Yeah, yes, you were, Jetfire.
Megatron then comes in and essentially the scene would between him and Jetfire would kind of be like the one scene between Orion, Optimus, and Megatron in Transformers Prime from that one episode Orion Pax,
Yeah.
in which Megatron reveals the Earth to Jetfire, and then Megatron tells how he got to Earth.
Yeah.
But you met a certain archaeologist in the place we ended up, Megatron.
Yes.
But why didn't he find me and he found you instead?
He forgot all about you, Jetfire.
You made him crazy!
I did.
Well, when you imprinted Cybertronian language on the man's glasses, he went insane.
Whoa.
Now you see. Now do you see?
I see now.
I was hoping. Jetfire then walks off to the Seekers. In this scene, we also get some sinister music.
Mm-hmm.
We then cut to the next morning,
Yep.
where it's essentially the same scene in class, but like the original where Spike is spazzing out. The fragment flies out of Sam's jacket and burns on a map on the board. Immediately, Sam grabs the shard and runs out of class to see what's happening with the shard. And then we have the scene where Sam meets with Optimus. But like in the original, Spike asks what's going on. Optimus then says that the Decepticons are looking for something, but they haven't found it yet.
Yeah.
And then Wheeljack and Elita 1 would also be present in this scene. Wheeljack would then point out something, and Wheeljack would be pointing out the shard. Because Wheeljack's a scientist, so he's not dumb. He's not dumb.
He's not.
He begins to point at the shard, and Optimus is in. Wow. He finds out that the Decepticons are looking for the shard.
Yeah.
Spike asks why they need the shard and Optimus would say that the shard that they need the shard to activate to find a map.
Yeah.
Spike then decides to leave because this is all becoming too real.
Mm-hmm.
Wheeljack and Optimus and Aaliyah put their heads down. As Wheeljack walks off, we get the scene with Optimus and Alita. Alita. I just don't know how far Megatron's going to go. I just don't.
Me neither.
For years, I've been trying to change his mind. I still fail! It's all because he was corrupted by a dark force!
I know, Prime, but I know, Prime, that you can't keep giving up on him.
Yes, I still think there's some good left in him, even if years ago I failed, but I still need to keep trying somehow. Like, for example, back 2 years ago, I considered sacrificing myself with the Allspark, but now I knew what I did was the right choice. I couldn't let Megatron win that day.
And you did what was necessary.
Yeah. Even if even if my decision to throw the Allspark into space was a controversial decision, I still had to do what was right from falling into the wrong hands.
You did.
I think we better go back to base. Wheeljack will be waiting for us.
Okay.
We then see the two transform.
Hmm.
Now, Elita 1's design would be more like Blue Lightning's rewrite. It'd be more like that.
Yeah.
But however, since Blue Lightning has never really, made his design, I'll just... whatever. Just... whatever. We then see Spike going into Carly's room. And we have a new scene where Spike is also talking with Chip. Here, Chip is more of a conspiracy theorist, where he has theories about Area 51, the Black Knight satellite, that kind of thing. This is Blue Lightning's characterization of Leo.
Yeah.
And Chip is replacing Leo because I hate that guy.
Me too.
Spike is in this scene. Chip is researching more about the Black Knight satellite. When a college staff asks Chip to come with him, Chip asks why. The staff then says that Spike's in big trouble. Spike thinks it's because he walked into class. Then when he head to a quiet room, the staff asks where the shard is.
Yeah.
And of course, who would this staff be? He knows of the Allspark shard. So some of you are going to ask me, who is this? We're just going to say he's some random Nest agent who participated during the events of the final battle. Like, maybe this could be Epps or Fig. One of them can work.
Hmm.
They would be kind of like an undercover spy working in the college.
Yeah.
He asks Spike where the shard is, but then, little do they know, someone is what, and then Spike says that he doesn't know, and then the staff's like, go home, and then Spike's disappointed. Essentially, Spike, Chip, and Carly leave, but then they get into a car, and this car happens to be a Viacon.
Yeah.
The Viacon starts firing missiles until Spike, Carly, and Chip manage to find a safe place. After all the chaos that was happening, they go out to seek shelter, but then they meet a helicopter Viacon who captures them inside their car. They fly towards the abandoned warehouse. We get the same scene in the abandoned warehouse, except there are more Decepticons like the Seekers, even the Constructicons.
Yeah.
And we also get the same scene where Megatron plays down Spike. But we're going to cut the whole scene where Scalpel puts that disgusting warm bot inside of Spike. Because I hate that scene. That's probably the most disgusting scene in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Instead, Megatron pulls out the shard. And Megatron then throws the shard to the wall. It initially does nothing, but then it does something. It starts to burn on the wall with a map to the Star Harvester. Everyone's looking in awe, and Megatron is extremely satisfied, knowing that the Fallen will be pleased.
Yeah.
And then Megatron says this to Spike. This will be a line taken from Blue Lightning's rewrite. You've done very well for a human, Spike. It almost makes me sympathize for you. But this is where your story ends. Megatron then begins to activate his fusion cannon at the humans before he shoots Optimus, Bumblebee, Blur, Wheeljack, and Mirage. Optimus, Bumblebee, Blur, and Wheeljack come in. The scene we then get the same scene with the Woods. Blur would have a fight with Brawl, essentially. Because Blur is fast, he manages to outsmart Brawl and easily stops him. Bumblebee fights the Seekers, he does a good job. Until he meets up with Jetfire. Optimus is fighting off Megatron until Optimus tells Jetfire something like, "You're on the wrong side!" Jetfire doesn't hear this until he turns around. However, he's cut by Starscream.
Yep, here's our bud.
Yep.
So.
And Bumblebee begins to be overpowered by Starscream. Megatron then gets the upper hand and kills Optimus. Soon the other Autobots arrive, but are in shock to see Optimus dead in front of them. Elita One's also there. She's in shock to see Optimus dead. She then puts her arm out, but risks almost getting shot. Why should she do this? Why did she do this, you may ask? We're going to explain this during the final battle. Everyone then heads to the Nemesis, and he lets the Fallen know that they found the map to the Star Harvester. The Fallen is then pleased, takes the shard, and then activates the map.
Yeah.
And then he says this quote from Blue Lightning's rewrite. Now all we need is the Matrix. However, little do they know they forgot about the Matrix. We then get the same scene where Optimus's dead body is being taken, and then we get this same scene at the graveyard, but it's at the nest base. Spike is with Bumblebee, Wheeljack, Sideswipe, Sunstreaker, and Jazz. And they help Spike and Bumblebee get over their griefs over Optimus's death.
Yeah.
Bumblebee then thinks to himself, it's all my fault. Optimus is dead. What have I done?
It's not your fault, Bumblebee.
Well, look. Megatron killed Optimus. Megatron even forgot about the Matrix is inside of Optimus.
We know, B. We know.
And look how far Megatron's gone. Optimus was wasting his life on redeeming him, and now look where that ended up.
Yes. Well, we know, Bumblebee. You're right, Bumblebee. Megatron, he's too far gone at this point. There's no turning back for him.
Well, I was all I need to do now is simple. Megatron must be stopped. He must be destroyed at all cost.
You're right.
Even though if that's not what Optimus would have wanted, I need to figure out a way as to how to stop Megatron without killing him. Because Megatron and Optimus, I was on their adventures back in during the golden age of Cybertron.
Yeah.
As Bumblebee puts his head down, Sideswipe then tells Bumblebee that he has to lead them.
Yeah.
Bumblebee looks up, and Sunstreaker tells him, Sideswipe is right. They need a leader. And then Wheeljack then gives Bumblebee some advice as to how to be a leader. And what is this advice significantly, you may ask?
Yeah.
Essentially, the whole leader thing is that essentially they give him they give him wisdom that he has to stop Megatron without killing him, but they need to think of a way. And they give him the advice that he needs to put a team of Autobots together
Yeah.
to make sure they can stop the Decepticons before they go to before they do with the whole thing of the Star Harvester.
Right.
We then have the same scene where the Autobots are at Diego Garcia, and Burger is furious and mad at them, saying that if they had left Earth, the Decepticons wouldn't have done all this stuff. But Ratchet tells Burger that that's not what Optimus would have wanted, and that's not the reason why they came. And Galloway cuts off Ratchet by saying that the government will now fight without the Autobots, regardless.
Right.
We then cut to a scene where Optimus awakens in the afterlife, where he meets Sentinel Prime, played by Leonard Nimoy, phenomenal performance in Dark of the Moon, Alpha Trion, played by Lawrence Fishburne, and Macronus Prime, played by Warwick Davis.
Yeah.
Optimus asks the three where he is, and then they reveal that he's in a sort of limbo state, and that if he completes his trials, then he will go to, the Allspark. But if not, then he will go to the Pit, which is essentially the Transformers version of Hell, and the Allspark is the version of Heaven.
Yeah.
Optimus' first trial is of strength, where he is initially confused at a bunch of random Transformers, but then they form into Nexus Prime, played by Tamura Morrison. And they then begin to give Optimus the courage to, win.
You're being checked out.
Yeah.
Bud, how you doing?
But before we
You never
see,
know what they're gonna
but
do.
before we see the two
I'm
fight,
used to having a lot of different people
the
in
the
house.
beginning of the fight's cut off when we
Thank you, by the way.
cut back to
As I said, I think so
our
much better
heroes.
this way, because half the time when you're doing
Yeah.
the virtual, it freezes.
Yep.
Cut back to our heroes, in which they discuss over who should the new leader of the Autobots be. Bumblebee then appears and says that he'll lead the Autobots.
Okay.
And of course,
Get your Wi-Fi.
Bumblebee says that he'll take a team of Autobots to go to Egypt to make sure the Decepticons don't win. And he believes that there's something in Egypt that he thinks can help bring Optimus back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, if you're gonna ask me for a password, I'm not sure what
He
it is.
takes the twins, RC, Blur, Mirage. Wheeljack would be initially hesitant, but he decides to go because he's the scientist. And we also see a few human nest soldiers, as well as the named ones, getting ready. And of course, Spike, Harley, and Chip decide to go. We get a scene where Chip and Wheeljack meet each other for the first time, and then they talk about all the things they have in common, which they're smart and that they're like scientists of sorts.
Yeah.
Sideswipe and Sunstreaker would be praised by this, but then Wheeljack tells them to quiet,
Okay.
and then Wheeljack gives a thumbs up.
I remember when they said all this. Oh, we won't have to use this much
Spike then
paper.
shows Wheeljack the shard,
Do more paper now. No, you're gonna use
and then the shard begins to burn the map on the ground. Then they see the map and they notice it leads to Egypt.
Yeah.
And then Spike says, if we're going, We need to stop the Decepticons fast.
Okay.
But we're skipping out the whole scene with Seymour Simmons.
Yeah.
We instead get a scene where we are introduced to Stratosphere, played by Billy Connolly. It's essentially the same scene in Rise of the Beast, except instead of the whole "I'm walking to Egypt" thing, walking to Peru thing. It's "I'm walking to Egypt." That's what Mirage would say.
Yeah.
Blur would also agree that he would want to walk to Egypt because he can run super fast, so why bother being on a ship?
Yeah.
But they have no choice but to give up.
Mm-hmm.
We then cut back to Optimus fighting Nexus Prime. He does, he loses at first, but then he starts to get better thanks to Alpha Trion's teachings and Sentinel's fighting skills.
Yeah.
Optimus then thanks the two. However, we meet another Prime, that of course being Vector Prime, which is the trial of time, and here he'll be played by Frank Oz.
Yeah.
Optimus, he would then play Optimus the prologue in which we see the backstory of the 13 Primes. However, we find out that Primus was the creator of 12 of them, and one of them was actually an alien from another species.
Yeah.
Who is this, you may ask? We're going to save this for another rewrite.
Yeah.
Optimus then finds out that the one who started the Prime Wars was Megatronus, who also became the first Decepticon and is also known as the Fallen.
Mm-hmm.
He killed Quintus and Solus Prime after finding that Solus has fallen in love with another Autotrans Prime, and so he decided to commit mass murder and genocide there. He created the Star Harvester to destroy planets.
Frustrating. But
Yeah.
Alpha Trion and Arisen Prime decided to
so it makes me feel
take down the Fallen, but Arisen sacrificed himself to stop
I'm trying
the
to
Fallen.
connect to my hotspot on my
Yeah.
phone.
And then Alpha Trion had to bury their bodies, and he was hidden for a long time until the day Optimus and his friends found him
Yeah.
and reactivated him.
Oh well.
Now, as you can tell, we're
I
taking
have
some
two
elements from
things that I
Transformers
need to
1.
do. I can do one. 'Cause I
Yeah.
have
Because I'm
the
excited for that movie
PowerPoint
and I want this
inside.
movie to exist
So I have to
badly.
go over orientation with
Me
you.
too.
Just a couple of
Optimus is in
things.
shock to see all
And
this.
I wanted to show you the rethink, but the rethink may not work if I can't.
And
do
then
it.
Alpha Trion gives Optimus
Yes,
the trial of
because I
life,
need,
in which they review Optimus's
access
life.
to get everything.
Yeah.
We then cut back to the Autobots on Stratosphere. Essentially, they have they go they are they locate to somewhere in which it's essentially the Tomb of the Primes, and it's somewhere in Egypt. And they found out that without the Matrix, the Decepticons can't activate the machine. And Bumblebee is in possession of the Matrix right now.
Yeah.
We then cut to a scene where the Decepticons arrive in Egypt. The Fallen knows this is familiar and smiles, knowing that he will destroy all of humanity right here and there.
Our goal is to help parents and professionals
Yeah.
acquire the necessary
Megatron is a little conflicted after
analysis
killing
and
Optimus.
teaching skills in order to facilitate effective
Was it really
intervention
meant to
and
happen?
utilization.
Would he have been successful had he got the Matrix and wasn't an idiot? Does he blame him? Does he feel bad for killing his former best friend?
Yeah.
Starscream and the Seekers then look at this, and they even make fun of a more conflicted Megatron. Megatron looks at them, but then they lie, saying that it was nothing. Megatron's like, and then Skywarp says, "Phew, that was close." We then have a scene where everyone flies out of Stratosphere as Stratosphere says goodbye to them. As Kicker gets into Ironhide, Kicker is starting to get excited, and he even plays a Clint Eastwood movie inside of Ironhide, which is Dirty Harry, and Ironhide. I mean, no, not Ironhide. Sideswipe. Ironhide. Meanwhile, with Ironhide, Ratchet, Chromia, and Alita. Ratchet's been doing everything to make sure Optimus comes back online, but nothing's working thus far.
Yeah.
But Ratchet tells them he will keep on trying. If he keeps on failing, then Optimus is truly dead. This would be a somber scene, and somber music would also play as well.
Yeah.
And I think it would be interesting if it was like during the afternoon and it was raining, something like that. We then get a scene where the Autobots slay. We then cut back to Optimus and the three primes, in which they review his life. Optimus was once a miner, like Megatron, and Megatron's original name was D16. Megatron was also a former gladiator, and because he was a revolutionaryist, most of them get corrupted. Megatron was corrupted by Megatronus. Optimus couldn't believe it. Megatron was tricked. He believed the Fallen could give him power, but he was lying. Optimus feels bad, but he knows this can give him a stronger chance of redeeming Megatron. As Optimus sees some of the adventures they were on. They're only brief, but still.
Yeah.
We then get the scene where the rest of the Autobots start packing up for Egypt, as some sort of reinforcements for the others. But then we see Burger, who stops them with a direct order, but Lennox fights back, saying, "I don't care, Mr. Burger. I'll go to jail for 100 years if I have to. But first, I'm doing this whether you like it or not." Everyone that gets on the plane and goes to Egypt. Later, we see Spike in the game. As Spike tries to see if the shark could make a map for the tomb, he would praise to it, and then makes a map with the stronghold we saw in the movie. Everyone will then go after the Matrix.
Right.
Lennox and his team. He fight off the Decepticons as some sort of reinforcements.
Yeah.
We then cut to a scene where Jetfire also feels conflicted.
I've never logged in on my
Okay.
phone.
Was Optimus right? Is he on the wrong side? Starscream tries to get into touch with Jetfire, but Jetfire tells Starscream to leave him alone. And Starscream's annoyed and calls him weak. Jetfire then punches Starscream. And then
Yeah.
the Seekers start to turn against
Okay.
Jetfire. And then Jetfire says, "Forgive me, Starscream. But I know you won't." And then Jetfire transforms, leaves.
Yeah.
Starscream then orders the Seekers to catch up, and so they
This
do.
is how you view your calendar.
Okay.
This would also be a sad
Your
scene,
name will be right
as we
there
will allow
already,
sad music to
and you
play.
go search his name,
Yeah.
view calendar. This is how
The
you
Viacons
get into
are also
the-
there as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Bone Crusher and the Constructicons then try to find the Matrix. Soon Lennox's team lands on the
Or you can
ground,
go to where it says,
with
"It's even
Ratchet
better,
saying,
honestly, if you do this, select
"Lennox,
page,
we may not make it out alive,
this is where you
but I
can
have to
find
say,
anything you're
I'm
looking
glad
Okay.
being
Clients there, try to report,
to the
template, and
be fighting
get
alongside my
land with your
family."
calendar.
Okay.
Glad to.
Ratchet then gives a head tilt. Meanwhile, we have a scene where with Alita trying to do something. It's not important yet, but it will be soon.
That you're trying to do.
Spike and the game are looking for the stronghold, but nothing's there.
So once I click on it, this
Sunstreaker then says something like, "Well, we looked. It's not here. Let's head back."
Okay.
So Sideswipe would then grab Sunstreaker, saying, "No, we came here to bring Optimus back. Without him, there's no team." Then the shard starts acting like a magnet as it pulls towards the wall, but when it breaks, the wall then opens to the Tomb of the Primes. And with the Matrix deactivated, the Tomb then activates the Matrix, and they head back.
Right.
His bus came at 11.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everyone's struggling with the Decepticons. We have a scene with Chromia and Ironhide fighting off some of them. Chromia gets shot.
Okay.
Ironhide tells Chromia she's okay, and she says that he's fine. And then Ironhide picks her up as they continue fighting.
Okay.
Blur comes back at super fast, taking out most of the Viacons because he is a speedster. And Mirage disappears and reappears, killing some of them.
Okay.
Soon, boom, Ravage and Laserbeak see Spike and yells at and then Ravage begins to chase after Spike. Bonecrusher then and Scrapper then command the Constructicons to form Devastator.
Yeah.
Swipe, Sunstreaker, Blur, and Jazz try to pull
Okay.
Devastator off. Jazz and Bombi also try shooting at his legs while Skids and Flap and Blur attack
Right.
Devastator from above.
Computer is like up to the
And Jetfire would also help.
like it would
Okay.
be like up here somewhere in this area. So that's where you would
Spike would struggle getting through the crossfire.
And the current
Finally,
conversation,
he
you
gets
do
to Optimus. Before he gets to Optimus,
Okay.
Ravage is about to attack Spike, and then Bombi shoots Ravage, killing him.
Yeah.
He then gets to Optimus and revives him. Optimus wakes thinking Spike. Then out of nowhere, Megatron and the Fallen come in and steal the Matrix.
So then we would go
Megatron then says this to Spike. "Well, Spike, you have a heart for the Decepticons. I really thank you."
the drop boxes. This
Yeah.
you will be doing.
Megatron then and the Fallen then leave.
SS note.
I want to note something here. Before Optimus is revived, we get one more scene where he says goodbye to Macronus, Sentinel, and Alpha, with him saying this: "I need to help my friends. I can't let them die. And the Fallen's too powerful. So you know what this means."
Yes.
It's not my time yet.
It isn't.
Goodbye.
The main thing about your note, anything with an asterisk or a star beside
And then
it,
he's
you have
brought
to
back.
fill out.
Okay.
Yep. Status time.
They then head. How? During the fight,
Me, my title is
Hi.
there, your title
Jeff
is there, you would just
Hire would be heavily injured. He says that they could use this shard to upgrade Optimus with different parts. And of course, we get the whole fulfill your destiny.
BT.
Well, essentially that. But Jetfire is also heavily injured.
simply put if the session happened in the home or in the community.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you
Blur and Wheeljack then begin to do the same scene where Optimus gets his parts
in the community.
Right.
as they use them to upgrade Optimus. Optimus then flies off to stop Megatron the Fallen.
So it could be both.
We then have Optimus fighting Megatron
Driving, you would put the
at the base of the
driver
pyramid. Optimus is struggling to fight and try to get up to the pyramid to stop the machine. All the Autobots are fighting the Decepticons from attacking Optimus. Optimus defeats Megatron,
collect it.
and
I'll
Megatron.
go back and show you where to collect the data at.
And he says this to Megatron. Megatron,
Um,
I can't believe you would join the Fallen.
Then your session note summary
promised to be
is basically everything
No,
you guys did.
you were tricked. Primes are born, not me. You were never meant to become a Prime.
You
Summarize
took
the
that
times, progress towards goals, and
No, I
Okay.
didn't.
include prompts
You were
and
tricked.
interventions utilized.
Megatron,
I'm gonna write that down.
what if this happened back on Cybertron, back when we were the best of friends? Would you have wanted this to happen?
No.
You're right. You wouldn't. need to stop him. Fast.
You're right, Prime.
Optimus then smiles, knowing he thinks he's redeemed Megatron, as the two then shake hands. They then come up to fight the Fallen. The Fallen is then in shot to see how the tables have turned with the Megatron Optimus' side, and then the two start to, with the Fallen calling Megatron weak and a traitor, but then Megatron tells the Fallen that he is that he tricked him into thinking that he would give him power and that he wouldn't. And then the three begin the final battle. Optimus then knocks down the Fallen, but it was too late. The Star Harvester fires a laser at the sun.
Okay.
An explosion, never before seen, destroys all life on Earth. You think this is where it all ends? No. Alita 1, we would see, has been watching the fight along with Bumblebee, seeing their two friends fighting the Fallen. She used the power of time. She found a way. She uses her arms as a way to control time. But the state it is in right now, she could die.
Okay.
But she must try.
Yeah.
We then have a scene where he begins to reach out her arms and uses all her strength to make sure time stops. She starts to feel pain from the pressure, but knew she had to do this because if she didn't, the entire planet will die. So everything around her starts to materialize back into existence, but still causing her pain.
Okay.
As then she falls beneath her knees, and the moment
Okay, cool.
reverses back, where the Fallen grabs Optimus,
Haven't even met me yet.
and everything resumes as Alita is on the ground. Wheeljack and Ratchet come to her aid. Optimus is starting to get weak until Megatron kills the Fallen, and the Fallen would suffer the same fate he had in the Revenge of the Fallen video game.
Yeah.
The Star Harvester then explodes as Optimus shoots it. Optimus then lands on the ground, so would Megatron. Megatron would be captured. Starscream believes Megatron's dead, as he tells the Decepticons that he'll be the new leader.
Yeah.
We then cut to a scene where Alita's being fixed.
Oh, alright.
As for one of the oddball casualties, this would be Stratosphere, because before Optimus and Megatron fight the Fallen would kill some humans, and Stratosphere tries to take down the Fallen, but the Fallen kills him, and the final battle happens.
Yeah.
We also get a scene where Optimus is looking at Megatron in prison. Optimus then puts his head down, thinking that he thought he could redeem him, but he was wrong. Sideswipe and Sentry are celebrating, knowing they've won.
Yeah.
And then we have a scene where Starscream tells the Decepticons that with Megatron dead, he will lead from now on. But then someone appears. It's Shockwave. He says he says that he's going to need some help. And this will be the last time we see the Decepticons setting up Dark of the Moon. And essentially, Shockwave would be played by Matthew Wood, the same actor who played General Grievous in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Optimus then meets up with Bumblebee, and he tells Bumblebee that he's proud of him for being a leader and for being there when he was initially dead.
Yeah.
And then Optimus would give out his closing speech, and the movie ends there. Well, that's it for Revenge of the Fallen. I had to perfect this one. Stay tuned for Dark of the Moon, maybe on Saturday. Anyways, bye.